It's good to see you. Good to see you.
Long time no see.
I know, right? How's the gym treating you?
So sore, dude. Coming up those stairs, dude. Fuck no.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get Cardo up those stairs. Next time him and I do a podcast.
Dolly. And then I was fucking moving today, like I said, and our shit's up and downstairs, so I was fucking. That was like our thing today, was get everything from downstairs into the living room upstairs so we can just move it all tomorrow.
Oh, you have a living room upstairs in the new place?
No, this is the old place.
Oh,
moving everything out of the old place.
Oh, okay.
So like the podcast studio downstairs, the fucking bed, dude. Purple mattress, you know about Purple mattress?
Fuck yeah,
it's the heaviest mattress in the world.
I want one so bad.
Yeah, we have one. If you don't get it in this bitch unless you're gonna pay them to bring it in.
Did it turn purple because you laid on it, or what happened?
No, it's already fucking purple. They're comfy. This isn't a paid fucking sponsorship.
It could be though.
Yeah, hit
Please.
us up, Purple.
It could be.
I sleep on that shit, and it's fire, but it's like 500 pounds.
Fuck that.
And then you saw how narrow that stairway was at the other house.
Yeah.
It's like we had to like tie it with a rope, like a mattress, like or like a taco.
Yeah.
Pull it up with a rope. It was crazy.
You and your chick?
No, me and like 5 dudes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
that's how heavy it is, bro. I almost called you, honestly.
I would have showed up, dude. That shit sucks. Fuck that. I had my buddies. They helped me move like all the big stuff. All of those, I was like, fuck, I have a truck now.
For sure.
I just load it up and make trips.
Yeah.
But I want to get to comedy eventually. But you sent me
Let's do it.
like a YouTube curated thing that had all of the songs on it from the Kendrick Drake stuff. Now, I have no dog in this fight. I am not attached to any of it.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to have this conversation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, I just...
So listens to anime music.
Well, not entirely, but you know. But I will say, like, before getting into it, I've just... Not that I listen to either of them a lot, but if I had to choose, like, gun to my head, I would have chosen Kendrick. I just like his stuff more. I just like his shit more. But also I couldn't name 5 of his songs, and I also couldn't name 5 of Drake's.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Maybe I could name 5 of Kendrick's.
So that's good to start there, that you can't.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then, but after listening to the fucking saga that was that beef, let me pull it up really quick.
For rap fans, it was awesome. It brought fucking bars back.
So that is one thing I was going to say, is that it was like tit for tat.
Yeah, it made motherfuckers rap. Motherfuckers hadn't been rapping. They've been singing and doing this fucking Playboy Cardi shit. That fool sucks. Dude, I saw someone post a Pusha T. I don't know if you know Pusha T.
Yeah.
And he used to be in Clips with his brother back in the day. They have that song Grinding. I don't know if you know. Anyways.
No, yeah.
So they posted a Clips song. Clips is fire. And someone was like, this is like the worst song on Twitter. They're like, this is the worst song ever made. And then I went and looked at on their tweets, and they fucking were retweeting Playboy Cardi shit. Have you listened to a Playboy Cardi song ever? No. Don't.
And anything that's like, if your rap name ends with an I, or if you're a Lil Baby, or if you're a Lil anything, or if you have like the dreadlocks with the face tats, and
so you don't fuck with Lil Wayne at all.
I mean, okay, that's the exception.
You're just explaining Lil Wayne.
That's the exception. That's the new age. The new age, like face tats,
Lil Pump.
Yeah, all that shit. It's like it's a fun gimmick, but it's not anything substantive.
Not at all.
No, yeah. I just never really like, dude. My interest in rap pretty much lives and dies with like Eminem, Run the Jewels, and then like Nas. There's like just assorted others like Lil Wayne. I'll listen to. I just found out about. I didn't know this,
Macklemore?
but he's fine. Yeah, I just never really got into it. But I didn't know that the lead singer of The Roots was a rapper.
Yeah.
Black Thought.
Yeah.
And I got into his stuff recently. And I was like, an album that he put out a while back. I was like, oh, fuck, this is really good. But, I mean, because what got me into rap originally was the Chappelle Show.
For sure.
How, like, at the end. Oh, and then Kanye West.
Yeah,
He's gone a bit nutty.
But no, he took it back.
But, okay.
He retracted his statements.
It's like your boy
and
with
deleted his tweets.
Yeah, but it's like your boy that wears a swastika and claims that it's a fucking Native American thing. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Dude, that's a crazy guy, bro.
Shut the fuck
Let's not even
up.
talk about that, fool.
It was funny because last night, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chop Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at chopchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Smith's, and a bunch of other stores in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. I believe they're even down in El Paso now. They sell red and green chili, of course. My personal favorite is this blend of red and green, and they also sell online frozen bags of green chili. So again, go to chopchilico.com to get yourself some amazing chili today. Now back to the podcast. When I was at Safe House,
Was he there?
He showed up, but he
Okay.
left. We didn't even do the mic because literally nobody was there.
Fuck you guys.
And it was a last minute change. But anyway, so I was sitting there and I was talking with Darren and with Erica.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I told him about it because they didn't know that he was wearing that necklace that one night. And I told him, I was like, it kills me because it's like it's so hard to offend me. Not that I was offended by him wearing it, but it like put me off. You know,
For sure,
like, what
yeah.
it's like, do you know what the fuck you are?
Yeah,
Like,
for
what
sure,
the fuck
for
are you
sure,
doing?
for sure.
But like, it's impossible to offend. It really, like, it is almost impossible to offend me. I've yet to be offended by something I think ever in my life.
That was close.
But took it pretty close. But then it kills me because it's like the dude gets on the mic and he's actually decently funny.
Yeah, he's good at telling a serious story and then having one fucking punchline at the end.
Well, and I told him after the last one, I was like, it's very Anthony Jeselnik.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
And he's like, yeah, I got told to listen to him and to listen to something else. I forgot what he said. And he's like, yeah, that's, so what'd you think? And I was like, it's good, but, everyone imitates who they like generally.
sure, yeah.
Sometimes that, and more often than not, that'll happen when you're starting out in stand-up. But I told him, I was like, I forget which one he did, but there's a subject that you did that I'm 99% sure somebody else has already done, almost in that exact same way.
Okay.
So just do your homework. I make sure you're not accidentally like that parallel thinking shit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like he's actually pretty good, and I like the jokes that he's telling. And then he shows up with a fucking. And I'm like, dude, stop it with saying this. But anyway, back to Kanye. No, he's still like, dude. He put up on. Do you see what he put up on his? He took it down, but that shirt he had on his website.
I bought one.
No,
I'm
the
just
fuck,
kidding.
no, the fuck you didn't.
Imagine.
Your girlfriend would stab
I
you.
should have
dude.
worn it to. Oh, dude. Nah, I think she would. If I bought something with a Nazi symbol, I think she would break up with me.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she would too.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to even pay for that. So
Yeah. But anyway, I fucking love Kanye West.
Kanye's first, run of 5 albums, perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like Yeezus is where it isn't perfect, but Up to Yeezus is perfect. He did a good one with Life of Pablo.
I thought it was fine. Yeah, I thought it was fine.
There's some good ones on there, but he hasn't had music like, dude, the first 3 albums, Jesus.
Well, one of my top 5 favorite albums of all time is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I adore that album. But anyway, so I found out about all these guys from the end of Chappelle Show because he would bring out the musical guests at the very end, right? Yeah. And so that's how I found about, like, who the fuck was it? It's not Nas. It's Mos Def.
Yeah, Mos Def.
Found about Mos Def on his show.
Bey or whatever. His new, he has a different name.
Oh, okay.
It's Yassine Bey or something like that.
Yeah.
Muslim shit.
But anyway, so after listening to all of these, the ones that really stood out, I really enjoyed Push-Ups. I thought Tailor Made Freestyle was fucking disrespectfully
So
shit.
disrespectful, but it's crazy.
Even for me, I guess, again, I have a very bird's eye view,
For sure.
very light understanding.
For sure.
Okay, I understand the Crips and the Bloods hate each other. I understand that Tupac was West Coast with like Snoop and all them, and then the East Coast was like all those guys. So I understand that there was, and then, you know, it was like Biggie, and they shot each other, killed, whatever. I understand the very basics
for sure.
So when he's got an AI Tupac being like, "Well, if you're fake as shit, then we'll just move on."
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%. The West Coast needs you.
So yeah, so like that was those two were good. I thought Euphoria was really good. I thought Family Matters was really good. I already listened beforehand, Not Like Us. That's such a huge song.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I thought Meet the Grams was interesting. But like, here's my question. We can get into the nitty gritty of it. But my question is like, is it just like a rap culture thing to have beef like this? Because you don't see this in any other type of music. Like you don't see Olivia Rodrigo picking a fight with Taylor Swift.
For sure, you don't.
You know what I mean? You don't see like
subliminally they do though, because my girlfriend's into that shit, and I swear, like Sabrina Carpenter, one of the songs is about Shawn Mendes, some shit like that.
I don't even know who the fuck that guy is.
Yeah, and like I guess they more like most of Taylor Swift songs back in the day were about like Joe Jonas or Nick Jonas. And
this is all about her ex-boyfriend, but that's like
okay, yeah, for sure, it's not beef.
Kendrick and Drake aren't fucking, and sure. Or maybe they were fucking and they broke up, and now this happened, but I doubt it.
Nah. There's a whole backstory into all that, but I wouldn't say that it's yeah, it is, because you think about where they come from, where rap comes from. You're coming from street culture where you're beefing with people anyways.
Right, so that's what I'm asking. Is like, is it just in the culture of like, because a lot of this started from gang mentality?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that makes sense. Because you don't have like heavy metal bands going at each other or like jazz musicians hitting each other with flutes.
I mean, Eminem did beef with Limp Bizkit back in the day. That was sick.
Yes, this is true. And it's funny you bring up Eminem, because the last rap beef that I remember, and this is maybe I was going to leave this for the end, but I wonder how much of this is actually beef, and then how much of this is just a way to make more money, because that's so clearly what the Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly thing was.
For sure.
That was so clearly just, hey, we're going to make 2 new songs. He's going to get more spotlight. Machine Gun Kelly's going to get more spotlight on him, and then he's going to switch genres to like pop punk or whatever. Sure. And it was just so clearly a corporate thing. And that's one of I forget what song it is, but Drake calls Kendrick a corporate sellout, pretty much. It's like
corporate puppet.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of the pot calling the kettle black coming from Drake.
For sure.
Like, dude, when you get that famous, you are a product. Like you're
100%.
like you're an artist, sure, but you're first and foremost you're a product.
For sure.
You're getting everything from your tours to your songs, your merch.
He signed the biggest record deal of all time. I think it was like $600 million the last time he signed his record deal, and he's up for another one right now. So that's like another like backstory that we could get in. Like,
holy fuck,
with the thing, yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot. And I think his one before that was $300 million. So they just doubled it. I mean, you got to think about it. He's had a #1 hit on the radio since 2009. Since Best I Ever Had was on the radio, he's had consistent hits since then. So that's 2009 to 2025. They just went #1 today when the charts got released.
Oh, because he just put out that Valentine's thing, right?
The R&B album.
Yeah, I haven't heard that
yet. A rapper put out an R&B album and went fucking #1.
Well, that's because again, he's a product. He's it's like Kirtland. Everyone relies on that. Sure. It's a reliable product.
The crazy thing is, right now though, with the whole beef, he's currently in a lawsuit against his label, UMG, Universal Music Group, because they claimed that Spotify and UMG botted Not Like Us to get a lot of the plays that it did, because it's a huge song everywhere.
Put plays on
bots and stuff like that. And so he's suing because of that. His legal team says that they have evidence that they pushed the song with fake bots and stuff like that.
What incentive other than vanity does he have to sue over that?
Because so when you get into the beef, they're going bar for bar at first. Boom, boom, boom. I'm a huge Drake fan. By the time it gets to Euphoria, when Euphoria plays, at the end of Euphoria, in my opinion, Kendrick was up. That song's crazy. The way he starts out, like, he spits fucking bars on that song.
Yeah.
But then,
so about halfway in, you had Kendrick winning.
Yeah, I had him up. I was like, okay, Drake needs to come back with something, even because I'm a huge Drake fan, but I was trying to look at it as a rap fan and non-biasly, like, think about it. And Kendrick was up, but then he starts making false claims because first of all, if you're gonna like, and it shows when he does Meet the Grams and he talks about a fake daughter and like all this stuff, and then Drake on 616 or what is it? No, the Heart Part 6 is like, hey, we fed you that information. There was a mole in your camp. We told them to tell you that I have a daughter somewhere. We were the ones that gave them the suitcase to give you with all the shit.
Okay. So that's like in the third quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
Where did this all start?
Okay, so
Why are they angry at each other?
So that's a good question. I wish we could have them on the podcast. But so it starts with Future. Well, I mean, it goes back to Drake was he was the first person to ever take Kendrick Lamar on tour. He had Kendrick Lamar on his first on Take Care on Drake's album. That was in 2013, something like that. And then they do Poetic Justice together, which was before.
That's right. He is on that.
Yeah,
that's a good song.
Which is before Not Like Us. That was Kendrick Lamar's one of his highest charting songs ever because Drake was on it. But so they like have a falling off around like 2014, and like they just kind of stopped making music together. And then Kendrick does a verse on Big Sean's song called Control in 2015 or something like that.
That's the album that's like purple at the front, right?
Yeah.
I remember that album.
And Kendrick Lamar calls out everyone. He calls out J. Cole, Kendrick, or Drake, everyone in that song. And then the beef kind of just died down. Drake never like rebutted against it or anything like that. Drake is a very subliminal rapper, so there has been songs throughout his career in that period where it was about Kendrick Lamar, like, or certain verses, but he never said Kendrick Lamar's name, And then all of a sudden, Future and Metro Boomin, they drop an album called We Don't Trust You.
Yeah.
And 6 of the songs on there are Drake disses with other artists. So like A$AP Rocky, Rick Ross, fucking The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar. So that one happens because Kendrick Lamar was replying to the song, First Person Shooter Mode. Because in the song, J. Cole says, they ask who's the big three, is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey, or me? So like he's saying those 3. Kendrick comes out on fucking the Like That song on the album and says, he's like, fuck the big 3, it's just big me, whatever. So
right.
And then he disses.
I gotta say, that's what I found funny about that thing you sent me, was it had a little bit of J. Cole in there.
Yeah, for
where
sure.
he was like, hey, sorry, didn't mean to
sorry.
poke the bear.
Yeah, for sure.
Leave me out of this.
Yeah, I was just gonna leave him out anyways, because
I just thought that was fucking hilarious. Like, I see where this goes. I am not trying to. I just want to make music. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. So the beef starts from that song right there. The whole album, honestly, Metro Boomin and Future, whatever it was, because Drake and Future had a collab album together back in the day. A really good album. They have multiple songs on the projects that they drop all the time. They always feature for each other. So it was weird for them to like do that all of a sudden. And then you get into, so Kendrick does Like That, says fuck the big 3, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And social media is like saying like, you got to get your get back, Drake, whatever. So Drake drops Push Ups, then Taylor Made Freestyle. And it took Kendrick, like I want to say like 2 weeks before he replied. And so a lot of people were saying that the diss tracks were pre-recorded. He had everything already like recorded, ready to drop. And
I'm just gonna bring this up just so I can fucking track this. Okay, so he puts out what happens with Champagne Moments? That's the Rick Ross.
Because that one's. Did you listen to it? That one's. He's all white boy, calling him a white boy the whole time.
So he's dissing Drake.
Yeah, he's dissing Drake. So pretty much what happened last summer or the end of the year was the whole industry came for Drake. Like all the rappers came for Drake. There was only like 21 Savage, a few that were actually on his side, and even
is he still deported? 21 Savage?
Nah, that was nah. They let his ass back over here. That's crazy. That was the randomest thing to wake up to, bro. That he was actually from London.
They took Sir 21 got deported.
Dude. That's so funny. And then it's funny, like it makes sense because he never talked about it, so it makes sense because like he was here illegally the whole fucking time.
Yeah,
which is crazy. He was making millions of dollars.
Yeah, and like you know what, those lawyers just paid off whatever the fuck they had to pay off, and the money ran dry. And like, all right, get him out
for sure.
You and those fucked up teeth, get back over the
water. So Rick Ross gets into it, which is I liked it. That was actually a good diss track. Like I said, it made everyone rap again. Who did you? So up until let's talk about Taylor Made Freestyle. Why? Like, because I love the fact that he just
it's as a principle. I think it's not right to use AI to bring back dead people.
For sure.
Just on principle.
Sure.
I don't think that's right.
But what he did was Drake actually rapped. That's Drake rapping.
Right.
And I understand. It just changed it.
No, I understand.
Voice.
No, I totally understand. Just as a principle, I don't think it's right.
Okay.
And so when he did that, that's disrespectful as shit. And it's like, all right, well, do we remember how Tupac died?
Yeah.
And why he died?
For sure.
Are you asking for that same outcome? Like that's, I mean, if you're going to play your cards, play your cards.
For sure.
But I thought the song was cool. But I was like, damn, this is like, I was sitting right here to listen to, I had it on the speaker, and I was listening to this whole thing. I was playing Helldivers, and I was thinking, like, damn, that's fucked up.
For sure. For sure.
But up until, like, I mean, honestly, the whole, not to spoil it, but like the whole thing, I think they were pretty much neck and neck.
For sure.
The only thing, well, I'll get to that later. So anyway, so Euphoria comes out. What happens then?
The internet goes crazy. I'm tripping out listening to it. I'm driving back from the first time I did Casadas with Polar Bear, and I'm listening to the song, and I'm like looking at my girlfriend. We're like listening because the shit that he says in it, you're like,
yeah,
Jesus. And I understand because Drake did mention like Kendrick's wife and shit first, you know. So once you bring family into it, it's kind of
like kids and shit.
Yeah, it's kind of no holds barred. You know what I mean? Euphoria comes out, and then did Drake reply to Euphoria right away, or did he know that night? Okay, so at the same time, we're driving, and we're about to pull up home, and then he drops Meet the Grams, like at this, and then you're listening to that, and you're like, oh shit, because Drake already got outed, I guess, against Pusha T when he had for not telling the world he had a kid or whatever, which. I don't think you have to tell the world if you have a kid. I don't who cares? It's famous as fuck.
So Drake has got a kid.
Yeah, he has a son since like 2017, 2018 or something. Okay. So he's little whatever. And that's why like in Meet the Grams how he's telling him he's like a deadbeat dad and shit, and he's like Kendrick's honestly he kills it, but the only like I said, once he does Meet the Grams, Drake drops Family Matters right away, like 20 minutes after that, and I think
Family Matters was good.
Which I think that's the best song of the whole beef. It loses me once Drake starts saying like, "Hey, we planted all the information. Like, there's a mole in your camp. We knew you guys were gonna diss us in the first place. Like, we fed you all this shit." And which, if you really deep dive into like Twitter and the internet and like all the music critics and shit, just because Not Like Us was such a big song, it like trumps everything else. Like it trumps that there was 2 other diss tracks that Kendrick made after Not Like Us or whatever that were pretty much lies, like him just lying about shit. And then Not Like Us is a lie too because the whole pedophile thing isn't true.
So there's the only thing that I know about it is that there were rumors that he was at a club or something with like a 17-year-old.
Okay,
something
so
like that. And then where it evolved into was that there were like screenshotted comments and like a DM or something between him and Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
And when the internet did the math on when these things were like commented on and like what the timestamps were, that she was like 16 at the time.
Yeah, I honestly think even younger. But there's like a whole explanation, and she's explained it too, and he's explained
Okay, but
exactly what happened, like how.
well,
Like,
my question is just, what does a grown man, what business does he have talking to a 16-year-old?
so he was a child actor too. He grew up acting. He did Degrassi.
Right, he did
He
Degrassi and shit, yeah.
was super young.
He was the cripple kid, right?
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair. So the thing with them was he met her at some type of like red carpet party with her parents and all that shit, and he just was like, hey, like if you ever need any advice about like, I know child acting's hard, whatever, blah blah blah, like let me know and I can give you advice for stuff.
Yeah.
And she had even come out in an interview saying that he was like her older brother, that he just gave her advice for all that shit. And he's addressed it in songs before. The 17-year-old girl thing, I can't help him with that one. I think he was like 21 or 22. It's a really old video. It's from like 2009 or something like that. And he usually I guess when he was doing that stuff, he was really singing his fucking R&B songs on that tour. So he was pulling women up from the audience and singing to them. And he just so happened to pull this girl up. And then in the middle, after he was done singing, he's like, how old are you? And she's like, oh, I'm 17. He's like, oh, you're going to get me in trouble. I think he like kisses her on the cheek or some shit. And then he's like, you got to get off the stage.
Yeah.
And even to this day, she came out with, there was a lot of cease and desist that were going out because they were doing that, showing that video. And she came out with the whole video with her mom, like saying she was there with her mom that night. It didn't affect her life in any way.
Right.
It was one of her favorite memories, blah, blah, blah. Can't help it. She was still 17, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and it's not the same realm, but Kendrick had that weird incident with a fan on stage when they were singing, I think.
She said the N word?
Yeah.
But Drake can't say it. But
Mad City.
Yeah, Good Kid, Mad City, yeah.
Yeah, and she's singing the song on the stage, and Kendrick's like, why are you saying that word? It's like, as she's getting shuffled off stage, it's in your song. That's funny.
So there's that. So like once it gets into like the lies thing, and then like you should have came out with a song or said it in your interview that, or at least deleted those songs, like the Meet the Grams and the other one. 616 in LA.
Because he was just straight up lying about.
Well, he didn't know he was lying, but he thought that he had a one up, that he had some shit.
Right.
When in reality, Drake's camp planted it, and Drake talked about he talks about in the Heart Part 6. He's like, he says he's a war general, seasoned in like something in decorated, seasoned for preparation. Like he's like, we fed you all that shit, you bid on it, and you made rap songs about it. So at that point, I say that it nullifies the beef and Drake wins, because in war or in a fight, if you were to like, it's almost like a war general lets information leak to this person to the other war general that all these soldiers are going to be in this location. All these people pull up, and then they're the ones that get ambushed. You know what I mean?
Right. I see what you're saying.
Then you fucking won.
Yeah. When Drake started to hit, he wasn't even rapping. He was just talking.
At the end, he's like, I don't even want to rap with you no more.
He was like, we have this. That's not true. That's not true.
Yeah.
I was listening to like, man, if he's right about all this, then he makes Kendrick look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and so the crazy thing is that the internet, it doesn't matter what Kendrick Lamar does, the internet is going to love it for some reason. They love that fool.
I think, personally, again, this is from a very, very casual fan.
Okay.
I think it's because with someone like Drake, he's a very easy punching bag.
100%.
I don't know why he is.
For sure.
It's just, I think maybe it's something instinctual. Maybe it's something just about a humans where you look at somebody and you're like, yeah, I could fuck with them.
For sure.
You have hundreds of millions of dollars. You're a pussy. You know, like one of those things.
Yeah.
Hey, he's been around for so long. It's one of those things where it's like, you don't know if you really made it until you're so famous that everyone who used to love you is now like, fuck that guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like him, Taylor Swift, Rogan, Michael Jackson, and then I had another one in mind, Chappelle.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, where you get so big and you're so famous that people who used to support you are like, now go fuck yourself. I think that's a part of it. I think another part of it too is that the frequency in which they release music. Like Kendrick, I remember when Damn came out, and people were like, "Whoa, where the fuck did this come from?"
He releases an album every 5 years or something.
Right? Yeah,
like
it's
that.
very rare, and I think that's what he's good at in a passive marketing way. Is that he builds interest
For sure.
whereas Drake, he maintains interest. And as he's just constantly putting out music or constantly being on somebody else's music or whatever it is, you know you're going to get a slow drip. Whereas with Kendrick, it's like a gallon at a time.
For sure. Yeah. 100%.
And he's also just very talented.
There's songs that Drake could make that Kendrick could never make, and there's songs that Kendrick makes that Drake can never make.
Well, they're very different
100%.
musical
Like,
styles.
There's one of my favorite songs ever is "Fear" by Kendrick on Damn. That's a fucking crazy song to listen to. That's like really coming like. I feel like the difference between them is Drake makes music that you can like that you vibe to and like you can and you feel good and shit to, even if it's a sadder song. Kendrick can make songs that like reach in and grab your fucking soul, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Makes you a little introspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Not all of them. Like I don't respect doing the whole beef out of nowhere when you hadn't made any music in like the last 5 years, and then you do the beef out of nowhere, and then you drop an album. Like I feel like that was he used, and they call it the Drake stimulus package. Drake has, dude. I promise you, he has given like I think it's like 10 of his features have gone number one for other people. And he'll make their albums go number one. He's just such a big name. Yeah. So this, instead of getting Drake on a feature, this was let's just use this fool's name. Let's make this big beef, and then all of a sudden just drop a fucking album.
But does Kendrick need that?
Yes,
he doesn't need that.
Well, if you think about Kendrick's highest selling album ever is Damn, and I think it was 400,000 first week. Drake's highest selling album ever is Views on 1.3 million the first week. So like there's a huge gap.
That's insane.
Kendrick's next album drops down from 400,000 to GNX, which he just dropped, which was like 290.
A little more to the mic.
290,000. Drake's next album, number 2 selling on his list is Scorpion, 702,000. You know what I mean? So there's a huge difference in sales between them. And then they're also signed. So this is when you get more into like the backstory and like kind of the conspiracy shit of it. Is they're both signed to UMG, which is Universal Music Group, and the Universal Music Group owns Interscope, which is where Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, they created Interscope, and that's where Kendrick signed to. And then Drake.
Wait. Dr. Dre created Interscope Records?
With not like fully. There was Interscope Records. Because they signed, I think they had like Fleetwood Mac maybe before and shit like that, and Tom Petty.
Yeah,
but Dr. Dre was like the revival of Interscope Records with Jimmy, because they had like a really stale spot. If you like to listen or watch music history and shit, watch the Defiant ones.
I've heard of that.
It's a good one, and it explains it's Interscope. It's what it is.
Because Dre went from NWA to Death Row, right?
And then he left Death Row and got signed to Interscope.
And then he helped revive it.
That's where he came out with The Chronic and all those albums.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, helped revive it, and now he's a part owner in it.
No shit.
Him and Jimmy Iovine were the ones that came up, and Interscope were the ones that came up with beats with the headphones and shit like that.
Right.
So anyways, they're both. So then Drake signed to UMG, which owns Sony, and that's where Drake's own label that he's on, OVO, that's where that comes from. So they're both under the same umbrella company. Drake, this is when it gets into some political shit. So Lucien Grange, I think Grange, that's his name, Lucien Grange. He is the biggest boss at Universal. Like he's the head honcho of Universal. He is, yeah.
He's very
let me tell you. So he's Jewish.
Yeah, very.
Yes. So no, but this is where it gets into some crazy shit. Drake's Jewish too. Drake was born. His mom's a Jew. I think she's like Armenian or some shit like that. So Lucian is the one that hands out these big deals and shit. He's the one that gave Drake 600 million the last time.
I'm just looking at this Lucien guy. First of all, it's Sir Lucien Grange, which is insane.
For sure.
And so in 2019, JP Morgan valued UMG at $50 billion.
That's crazy.
This dude is... Holy fuck.
Yeah.
What the... his personal net worth is $250 million. And then you throw on top of everything that he gets out of you. Holy shit.
Yeah, rich guy. You know what I'm saying? So he pretty much, Universal is pretty much the umbrella company of the music industry. Most labels and most like Sony, Interscope, these big labels, they all come from Universal. Like that's Universal owns most of them. A lot of the labels that like any of like even,
now is that like just regardless of genre?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So even a lot of the bands you like and shit like that are somehow under Universal. This guy's the big godfather of music. You know what I mean?
I wonder. I just because where my brain goes to is it's still on the same topic, kind of, but my brain just goes to like, how is that allowed without it being a monopoly?
Exactly.
Because I just remember when the big buyout from Disney was happening when they bought out Fox.
Yeah.
They were trying to buy, so when they bought like 20th Century Fox and like all those like characters, like the X-Men and all them, and then they were buying out a bunch of properties from Fox, and they had to eventually end up going to court because they had the money to buy Fox Sports.
For sure.
And when they went to court, the Supreme Court that was assigned to it was like, hey, you can't buy Fox Sports because if you buy Fox Sports, you now become a monopoly in your industry.
For sure. But Disney is anyways. If you look up, like there's umbrellas online, like charts that'll show it'll go from Disney to everything they own.
So Disney's at the tippy, like literally at the tippy top of the mountain. Like they literally are not allowed to buy any more properties.
Okay.
They have to create their own shit now, or just keep rebooting like they have been.
Okay.
Because if they were to buy one more thing, they become a monopoly.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Not excusing it, but cause that was the big thing with Fox Sports. Because they wanted to buy Fox Sports and make it exclusive to them.
For sure. Thank God.
It's just fucking insane. Anyway, so this guy.
So big guy. This is all true information too. Like I've sent articles to people like when we've talked about this before. You could look it up. Anyone could fact check me. Lucien Grange, super Jewish guy. His wife is one of the biggest donors to Israel in America.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah. So he asks Drake to perform at an Israel, like some type of Israel fundraiser or something like that in Israel. Drake declines. 3 months later, Drake signs the artist for a ceasefire letter.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so his wife is Caroline Grange.
Yes, look at how much she donates so much money to Israel. She's a major Zionist, major.
Donation to Israel. Because it's funny, I can't find a Wikipedia on her, so that's interesting. Okay, so Zionist influence on the music industry. That's literally the first thing that pops up.
It's crazy. So and Kanye called it all. Just saying that. It's crazy, but he called it.
So the Universal Music Group is the world's largest music company. CEO Lucien Grange, a supporter of the Friends of the Israeli Offensive Forces, has a company with significant power. His wife, Caroline, funds the Zionist Federation and the Conservative Party. But I want to see how much money.
I saw a TikTok video. I should have fucking saved it, but this was before TikTok got deleted. That's where I got a lot of the information where they were citing like how much money she's donated and
I literally can't. But here we go. Okay, maybe this is something. So oh my god, just give me a number. I can't find. You literally cannot find shit.
Let's see. Well, but I'm pretty sure that they.
But anyway, okay,
do a good job to cover it up.
So let's say you're correct. So she donates a ton of. Oh, it's funny. One article that I find is P. Diddy pedo party lawsuit snags another pro-Israel lobbyist, music executive Lucien Grange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a fucking Zionist philanthropist, dude.
Okay, so she's donating a lot of money, and so he gets told Drake gets told, "Hey, go perform in Israel." He says no. What happens after?
He says no because this is like at the beginning of the Israel Gaza stuff.
So this is in 2023.
Yes.
Okay.
He signs a petition, a letter, which is called Artist for Ceasefire.
Okay.
Artist, and then number 4 ceasefire.org, I think. He puts his name, he attaches his name for it, and he publicly speaks out about being on the Palestinian side. And talks about like his brother, one of his, because his manager, Future the Prince, is a Muslim guy from that part of the world.
Okay.
So he's like, that's my brother. Like, I stand by my brother. I stand by Palestine. Signs this thing. 4 months later, out of nowhere, there's a whole album under fucking UMG dissing Drake, and Kendrick disses Drake out of nowhere. And then
Drake is on this.
And then all of a sudden, because he signs that, he does that thing, all of a sudden the whole music industry is against Drake, and his own label is letting someone else on his label defamate him and call him a pedophile. And they push it, and they make it the number 1 song, and they make it win 5 Grammys, and then they make it at the Super Bowl because he was about to become, not only because of that, he was also this album that he dropped gets him off of UMG, so he was going to be a free agent. If Drake goes independent, it flips the music game upside down because he's going to show these artists how to really fucking make music. And every other Drake album except for one surprise album that he dropped had always sold over 500,000 copies. This one only sold 249,000. It still went number 1 first week, but you were searching Drake's album on Spotify and Kendrick Lamar songs were coming up. Drake drops an R&B album, all of a sudden Not Like Us is in every R&B playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. Not Like Us is not an R&B song. So they're just blatantly now like, and so that's why Drake did the lawsuit. He's like, you guys are what you guys did was you put out this diss song to get leverage so that it would make my stock go down so that no one else would re-sign me and I would have to go to you guys.
Okay. I just want to make sure I heard you right. Okay.
It's crazy when it gets into that.
So Drake pissed off some Israel siding people in the industry.
For sure.
So then what happens is Not Like Us may or may not have been, their numbers got pumped up.
Yes.
Flubbed the numbers.
For sure.
Okay. Then what ends up happening is Drake puts out a R&B album. When traditionally Drake has albums, his number 1 album, you said, got 1.5 million.
1.3 million.
1.3 in the first week. So he traditionally gets, let's estimate like 600,000 to 1 million
first week
sales, streams, whatever in the first week.
Yes.
But this R&B album that he just puts out only got how much?
249,000.
And now when that's out, when you look at R&B playlists on Spotify, it has Not Like Us in it.
Yes.
When you're looking up Drake's album, which I'm assuming you did to look it up, Not Like Us was coming up.
Kendrick's, dude, you would literally put in like, and even just for me listening to playlist, I would play like This Is Drake playlist, and there's fucking 10 Kendrick Lamar songs in it, and you're like, what the fuck? And then I have this. Look, so this is a screenshot. Look at Drake's Spotify numbers. And then look at Kendrick's Spotify numbers. His monthly listeners do not make sense. It doesn't make any sense. The maths don't math there.
Okay, so it says Drake Spotify stats, total streams 109 billion, followers 96.1 million, monthly listeners 77.9 million.
Then look at Kendrick's inflated numbers.
And then Kendrick Lamar is 43 billion streams, 37.6 million followers. Monthly listeners are 100 million.
They just had him break the record for monthly listeners. How does he have that many monthly listeners if those other 2 numbers are half of what Drake's are?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, so they're just blatantly, watch, I have more screenshots of other shit to show you. Also, Drake announces 3 or 4 days ago that he's headlining, which this is crazy. So they're bringing the Wireless Festival in London, which is like the biggest festival every year. 3 days, first time ever. He's headlining all 3 nights. What happens less than 24 hours after that? Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us goes number 1. He gets his first number 1 hit in the UK ever.
Specifically in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK, which is where the
That's strange. I'm looking at Spotify right now on the This Is Drake playlist, and I'm not seeing any Kendrick on there.
They've probably fixed it by now. Here's a screenshot of one of them.
They knew my podcast was coming for them. And they're like, no, bitch. I'm just looking through this playlist really quick.
For sure.
Yeah, I just... okay, so there's nothing on there now. Okay. So Spotify putting, not going to read that whole thing, Kendrick music under Drake playlist because his sorry ass can't get streamed without Drake. Okay, so Drake radio.
The second song on it is a Kendrick Lamar song.
Yes, but there's plenty of radios that I go on
For sure.
where they have features.
For sure.
Like Ice Nine Kills has that a lot.
Yeah,
where they'll have songs that they've featured on for other artists, and those will be in the Ice Nine Kills radio.
Sure.
Like that happens.
And then so look at this is how you and so Spotify is owned by Universal Music Group.
Right. I knew that. Yeah.
So look at and everyone uses the same either you use Spotify or you use Apple Music. I feel like it's 50-50 for the most part.
Yeah.
Look at what was happening when
there's still
when
some
the album,
dorks that use YouTube music, but
look at the difference when Drake's album dropped.
Okay, so Spotify top USA songs versus Apple.
Not one Drake song the night that the album dropped.
Okay, so the night that Drake's album comes out,
he has almost every single Apple Music song on the top 10.
Right. So you see Luther by Kendrick, Not Like Us, and then 4 through 9 are the brand new songs.
Yeah, and I think Drake's was number 1. You just can't see in that screenshot on Apple Music.
And then if you look at Spotify, the first one is Luther, second one is Not Like Us, third is a Kendrick song, fourth is a Kendrick song, fifth is a Kendrick song. Who the fuck is Doechii?
Signed to Kendrick's label, to Top Dog Entertainment.
And Lady Gaga, and then something called African.
So that doesn't add up either. Why would just Apple Music people be streaming the album that night when the album did go number 1? You know what I mean? And Spotify is another person that Drake's suing because
is All the Stars that popular of a song?
I don't think so.
I fucking hate that song. Now, granted, I hate that song because that was
sure.
Black Panther was the first movie that I watched out of basic training.
Okay,
like they let us go for a weekend, and me and my buddy would go watch it. And I fucking hated that movie in theaters, and that song played, and I was like, "Fuck this!" But I didn't think that song was that popular.
I don't know, dude. Exactly. So they started pushing it. It's when you get into that stuff. Like into the deeper stuff, it makes a lot more sense.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of...
You are not allowed to disrespect Israel.
Yeah.
No matter what. Well, then, and I'm looking at that Artists for Ceasefire thing that you were just talking about. And there's a lot of heavy hitter people on here, like Adam Lambert, Adam McKay. I saw Ariana Grande on here, I think. Let me see. Yep, Ariana Grande. Ben Affleck's on there. Bradley Cooper. Yeah, there's a ton of famous fucking people in here. David Cross, that's not surprising. Fucking Diplo and DJ Snake. Yep, Drake, Dua Lipa. Interesting. LP from Run the Jewels. That's cool. But yeah, I don't know, dude. This is so all because he pissed off his fucking record label owner. Now we're at the point where okay, so explain this to me then. Okay, explain this to me. Because in one of those songs, they're talking about like being bigger than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
Was that a Drake or a Kendrick song?
That was a Drake song where he's like big as the Super Bowl. Like him and J. Cole making a song together because they had it in so long was as big as the Super Bowl. That's what he was saying.
So then Kendrick performs the Super Bowl.
Yeah, performs the Super Bowl.
So, and maybe I should have. I definitely should have. But I still have not watched his Super Bowl performance.
You didn't.
But the things that I pull out of the internet, one of the big things that I saw was that Serena Williams was there and she was crip walking and I'm seeing things online about her sister getting killed by a bunch of Crips.
I posted on my story, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, so in 2003, her little sister was killed at a park in a drive-by shooting by the Crip gang members because they're from Compton.
Right.
And yeah, how are you gonna get? And then her thing was, well, it's part of my culture. No, your sister got shot in the face, bro.
Is that part of your culture too?
Yeah, obviously it is. But fucking, you're gonna and the thing is, you're Drake's ex. I'm sorry, like, not to be fucking whatever they're gonna call toxic masculinity or whatever. That's not even the right word for this. But. Dude, he still hit. That's all you got to say. Like, I still fucked you. And you're gonna get on this, so you're just showing that you're a fucking hurt ass ex girlfriend.
So here's my question. Okay. So how do the Crips and the Bloods play into this? Why is she Crip walking?
Because Kendrick's unifying Compton. That's why Damn, it's the blue and red album. You know.
Okay.
He's trying to unify, which he doesn't do anything. There's so many people that have come out. Like, I don't know if you watch DJ Vlad interviews. He interviews rappers, but like real, like the ones that are really in the street. And he'll interview gang members too, because there's gang members now that have been gang members for so long that they've just become famous for being famous Bloods in California and shit like that.
Yeah, feel free to explain. Oh, if you feel like you're over-explaining, you're not, because I know nothing about this shit.
For sure. So there's like a lot of rappers that are in California, like The Game. His manager, Whack 100, that's his name, is a huge Pyru from the streets of Compton.
What's a Pyru?
A Blood. That's what they call him. They're from Pyru Street in Compton. So they're Pyru Bloods, whatever. He's like a huge, like he grew up in that shit with Suge Knight, all that, and he took his money and became the Game's manager. And Game became one of the fucking highest selling artists now. And now Whack 100, who still keeps his foot in the streets, he has a podcast and he talks about all this shit. You know what I mean? And
I know why that's
his
so
podcast
funny.
is with Adam 22 from No Jumper.
Where it's like, hey, we're gonna go hit these guys. I got a podcast in 30 minutes, boys.
No, for sure. For sure.
But so that makes more sense why Adam 22 is so connected with a bunch of gang members on his podcast.
Yeah,
Because I don't watch his stuff, but
he's from LA too.
But
when you're in LA, you're in that shit. That's gang culture.
Yeah, I've just seen clips of it, and I just see like pictures and like these clickbaity headlines, and okay.
Yeah, so I think everyone just took, and then like there's even like how he's like in the third verse of Not Like Us, how he's like you're not a colleague, you're a colonizer, like saying all this shit like. And he tried to say, like, he named all these rappers from Atlanta that Drake was using. And all these rappers stuck up for Drake after. So, like, I feel like it even backfired then. But for some reason, that man is fucking Jesus to the internet. And they're painting him to be this fucking... Like Drake says in the one song, what does he say? He's like, you're a fake, you just acting like an activist. It's make believe, always rapping like you're trying to get the slaves free.
Well, because who was saying? I forget who was making fun of who, saying how like they never went to jail, they never did this.
That's what Drake is saying because he's rapping that in Tupac's voice.
Yeah,
he's like, oh no, or maybe he's rapping that in Snoop Dogg's voice. He's like, I know you never been to jail, orange jumpsuits and orange jumpsuits, shower shoes, never shot nobody, never stabbed nobody, never did nothing violent to nobody. It's the homies that empower you. That's what he says.
Yeah,
and because it's true, Kendrick Lamar and people that were on the...
So is that song on Spotify?
No, Drake. So, and that's the whole thing. Everyone goes at Drake. They're like, oh, you're suing UMG, you're suing this. He never sued Kendrick. But you know what Kendrick did do? Kendrick had the Tupac estate sue Drake, and they had to take down the song off everything. He had to take down that song off of everything.
Oh, shit.
Which is like, I understand why Drake is suing UMG, especially if it's this numbers thing that's going on and they're inflating numbers and they're trying to use it as leverage. They're letting another artist on their label defamate his name so that he'll have less of leverage to sign for. You know what I mean?
Well, then that's...
Bro, they called him a pedophile at the Super Bowl.
But so let's stay on the Super Bowl thing.
Pedophilia is a sensitive subject in our country. Like,
yeah. So thank you for bringing us back to that. Okay, so Super Bowl thing. So again, why is Serena Williams crip walking?
No one knows. They never explained it.
Because people recognized it like
because that. So every song besides two of the songs on Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl playlist were disses at Drake. So like
that's another criticism that I heard, that he was doing none of his hits.
Yes, exactly. So it was there's another podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, which is like a big
I know who Joe Budden is. Yeah.
So on their podcast, the set list had leaked. DJ Academics, who's like a huge Drake fan and everything, he got the set list from a worker at the stadium, and he leaked it because in his mind he's a huge Drake fan. He's always ridden for Drake. At the end of push-ups, that's DJ Academics yelling, "What top 5 you smoking on, Kendrick?" Like in that little ad lib that it does.
Yeah.
And so he's publicly been on Drake's side the whole entire time. And he got the set list and he leaked it, and he said, "I'm leaking this because if you're about to take the biggest moment in your career and just rap about Drake, you're a fucking idiot, and the industry is really against Drake. They're really trying to bring this man down."
Doesn't that just make you look foolish?
Yeah, and then so Joe Budden looks at the playlist and he's like, "Y'all are retarded. If you guys think that this playlist is what they're gonna do at the Super Bowl, you're stupid. Like, whatever little kid made this in their room, whatever Drake hater, like, there's no way. He has huge hits. He has All Right off To Pimp a Butterfly. He has that song I. He has songs that he's
Money Trees.
Yes, that he's
even
won.
Poetic
Dude,
Justice.
he has songs that they study in Harvard. They literally have a class, like some linguistics class, and they've integrated his shit into it. You can look it up. He won the fucking Pulitzer, whatever that shit's called. The fucking Poet Award. So he has these number one hits, these things that move the country.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
They study Kendrick. So, okay, hang on. So, To Pimp a Butterfly got archived in Harvard's library, which means they use it as study material.
Yes.
What?
Because he has some dude, and he didn't perform that song.
And
bro.
then what did he win, the Pulitzer?
Yeah, he won the Pulitzer.
What? Why?
Because people believe in his lyrics that much, and like the activism that he stands for minorities.
Holy shit! Yeah, there's him getting the fucking.
Yeah. So how are you not going to perform any of those songs? And you're going to perform all of the Drake disses, and you're going to have Drake's ex, Serena Williams, because in one of the songs he says that he says 2 different street names in Not Like Us. He's like, from this street name to this street name, y'all better not speak on Serena. That's what he says, because she's from Compton, whatever. So Compton's supposed to stick together. Obviously not, because they shot her sister in the face.
I was gonna say, but isn't that all get null and void once a family member is killed by a gang?
Exactly. So like having it was literally the Drake show, bro. It was a show to dish Drake. That's all that it was. He took his biggest opportunity that he's ever gotten, and he fucking dissed Drake instead of playing your songs that they literally study in Harvard.
It's overwhelming, the evidence.
Yeah.
The evidence is over.
But it's all there. That's the thing.
Holy shit.
And this is my first time I've been able to fucking explain this, because if you explain it to anyone else, like when I was on fucking Buck and Six's thing, bro, he did not. I was just racist, bro. I was just fucking racist.
Well, hey, apparently I was racist too.
Yeah. So whatever. I couldn't even. And
they didn't call me racist, but
yeah. So like when you look at it from like when you really peel that shit back and you look at it, it's fucking. It all stems with fucking Jewish people. With Israel, bro.
Well, that's insane.
Yeah.
So okay, so,
and the thing is, Drake's openly Jewish. He had his bar mitzvah. One of his music videos is literally his bar mitzvah. Like, and no one's okay with people fucking getting slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? And just because he wasn't okay with that, look at where it's at now. I mean, thank God he's going independent, even though...
Okay, thank you. That's what I was going to ask. Okay, so the plan... Okay, so if their plan is really to do all this because he doesn't align with how they believe politically, right? Okay. Drake being one of, if not the biggest selling artist of all, let's just say one of the biggest selling artists of all time, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if he goes independent and he steps away from UMG, because you said he has his own label, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say he's able to, even if he doesn't get his current label, he just makes a new one. He has enough fucking money.
For sure.
He makes enough money. He walks away. He's able to keep everything because he abides by the contracts, keeps his money,
Owns
makes
his
it
masters.
right. Owns all. Hey, does he own his music?
I want to say, let's see.
Because well, even if he doesn't, music moving forward
For sure.
Because he has a shit ton of money. He's a brand. He's not going anywhere, right? So let's say he doesn't own any of his music and he just starts making new stuff under his new brand.
Yeah,
it
says Drake has a deal with Universal Music that includes his masters, and he also owns all of his masters that he releases under OVO Sound.
Okay, perfect. So
he owns all of his
so
shit.
he brings all of that catalog to his new music label that he's making, this hypothetical Drake Incorporated that he's making, right? UMG stands to lose a historic amount of money.
And let's say how much right now. So it's Spotify is 3 cents to 5 cents a stream. Apple Music is 6 cents to 1 cent a stream.
But is that going to the record label or going to Drake?
That's going to the record label. So if he went independent, you have to think about it. If he gets 5 cents per stream, and in Spotify, let's see, what does he have? Like streams, he has fucking
dude, total streams on Spotify. How much does he have?
Drake's yearly streams on Spotify. Let's see.
No, just do yearly. That's fine. Because even if he has, let's say he has 100 million streams on Spotify.
He had 15.5 billion streams on Spotify in 2024.
So 15.5.
Making him the most streamed rapper on the planet for the 10th year in a row. Fuck Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, so 15.5 billion streams. Let's say he gets the UMG. Let's say they get 4 cents.
Yeah,
Let's
4
meet in the
cents.
middle
Yeah,
and
for
do
sure.
4 cents. Whoops.
That's one too many zeros.
Yeah, 4.
Your calculator broke, bro. That's how much money it is, dude. It broke your iPhone.
So it's 16.2 whatever to the 8th power. So 6 billion.
Yeah.
No,
and
that can't be right.
And he's
15.5, and then you're watching a fucking 4-time college dropout do math, by the way. So 0.0, let's just do 0.02. Okay, a fuck ton of...
No, because you would do...
Yeah, because you're multiplying.
Streams. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
if
insane.
they signed him... So think about that. That's how much money, when he goes independent, he would make straight to his pocket instead of signing a $600 million deal to UMG. You know what I mean? They knew they were going to have to give him like $1 billion this time.
So, okay. So, right. So then why would they want to play into his hand and have him leave? Why would that work out for them? Is it just because of the influence?
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck. 'Cause that's where my brain goes to.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Holy shit. Yeah, well, after this conversation, I'm on Drake's side.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm on Drake's side with this one.
Kendrick, he made a good fucking song. Not like us bangs. Like you could play that shit in the club and shit like that, but you're lying.
So, okay, so here's my thing. Here's the last question I have about all of this.
Okay.
So, the pedophile allegations. Because you said it perfectly. You say that on the biggest musical stage in America, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Performing at the Super Bowl is the biggest musical stage
For sure.
in America.
Yeah.
So, if you are on that stage, and not just you, let's just say 80% of the crowd is singing along to "It's Probably A Minor," and they're calling Drake a pedophile. He can definitely take them to court over defamation.
Oh,
then,
he's
right?
gonna. No, he's gonna.
Or is it just, or does that fall under like, oh, it's entertainment purposes only?
No. He's gonna do it, and that's where he's and so he the lawsuit's ongoing. You'd have to like look up at the lawsuit more, but all this shit is doing is adding more kindling to his fucking fire on his side. You know what I mean? That's all it's doing. And And because he did 2 different lawsuits, and one of the lawsuits, if you look it up, they settled in court. UMG settled with him. So he just got a big paycheck somewhere. And I mean, really all it is about is they want to fuck with me, let's get some money out of it at least. You know what I mean?
Well, because so here's what I was saying, right?
Yeah.
So I looked up the lawsuit against Kendrick Lamar, and so the first one that comes up
It's not
with,
against Kendrick.
right? The first one that comes up is UMG.
Yeah. He never sued Kendrick Lamar.
And so it says UMG's response. So it's between Drake and
Yeah.
the company. It says UMG denied the claims and said that it would defend itself against the lawsuit. UMG said the idea that it would harm Drake's reputation is illogical. Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, why would you want to hurt your own person?
Yeah.
But if you add in the Israel aspect to it, it's like, well, there's certainly a track record of if you go against Israel, bad things happen to you.
For sure. Yeah.
What? Oh, wait. Drake withdrew the lawsuit after meeting with representatives from UMG and Spotify.
Yeah, there's still another lawsuit going on, but that lawsuit they settled. He didn't withdraw it; they settled. Well, which probably means the same thing.
Interesting. What the? Okay, so here's one from NPR. It's on the 19th of January from this year. Okay, so Drake's new lawsuit against his record label UMG. I'm not going to read a fucking transcript.
Yeah.
But that's insane. That is fucking insane.
I'm looking up this other thing real quick too.
I don't know, man. It starts to make a lot of sense when you add in the political aspect to it. I got to pee real quick, so let's take a break. We'll be right back. Let's talk about something a little less controversial.
Yes.
Albuquerque comedy. Okay. I think it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
People just need to come to our open mic.
I think it's going pretty. Yeah. Hey,
I need to come to our open mic.
you show up on time to the open mic, but yes, no, it's I don't know, man. Like, 'cause I'm not. How do I put this? I'm really not bitter. I'm not bitter about the fact that hardly anybody's been showing up because my whole thing is like, well, in the first couple of weeks of doing it, there's already been new people that have never done stand up that went there to try it,
And
that specifically went to that place to do stand up. So that's
shout out to Johnny Magna.
yeah. So that's cool, right?
He's on First Fridays.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Rusty gave him a First Friday spot.
Oh shit.
That's like our little child.
Good for him.
Yeah.
What the fuck, for real?
Yeah, I swear.
Which one?
This next one coming up
In May or March.
yeah.
Good for you, buddy. This will come out after that, but hopefully you did well. Good for you.
For sure.
Good for him. So there's already people showing up that haven't done stand up that went to do it. Last week we had somebody who was in from Denver and heard about the open mic, went up, did it, whatever. So that's cool, right? And eventually it'll start to grow. But
sure.
like I said, I'm not bitter about it, but my whole thing is like, I get that we all have schedules. I mean, aside from this past week, I haven't been doing a mic in a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to add, both of us, and we have been, just trying to add more mic time to this city. And now that Dry Heat is no longer like, this is going to come out probably 2 weeks before Dry Heat fucking closes down. So we're going to start getting to a point, and I was talking about this with Darren and Erica last night. Like, the biggest hit of Dry Heat leaving is going to be now you're just going to have bar shows of various quality and then casadas and hyenas.
For sure.
You're not going to have a local club to work out in anymore. And bar shows are great. Obviously, I'm biased, but bar shows are great. And we run pretty good ones.
For sure.
But there's a difference in working in that scenario and then working at an actual club.
For sure.
Regardless of the size. There is a difference. Yeah. And not having that anymore, it's gonna be interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be very interesting to see how things shift and what happens. But there needs to be as much mic time as humanly possible. And honestly, if I didn't work a fucking regular 9 to 5, 8 to 5, I wouldn't be opposed to, like what's probably the 2 popular mics in town are Mondays at Brew Lab and Wednesday at Red Door. So like both of those end around 9.
For sure.
9:15.
Yeah.
So if I didn't work this fucking schedule, I would be more willing to do like, hey, if we found a venue that was like, hey, fucking this one ends at 9, we're going to do signups at 8. We're gonna do signups at 8:30. Start at 9:30. Because that's the ideal situation for a comedy scene where you're doing like 3 to 4 mics a night.
Yeah, for sure.
That now, granted, we are years away from that happening. Let's just face facts, right? Just based on the amount of people in the comedy scene, the amount of venues we have available. Just we're years away from that happening.
Sure.
But just the fact that we have, because is there a Sunday night one?
I think there's that one that or Dry Heat used to do it, right?
Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. They never did one on Sunday. Dry Heat.
Let me look at
Because I think
comedy.
because it used to be Nob Hill, but I know that shut down. But my point is, I just want to add time, and even if nobody shows up, we're gonna keep fucking doing it until Safe House tells us not to, which I doubt they will. But I think Albuquerque Comedy is in a great spot right now.
There's no Sunday open mic.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's the Nob Hill one, but they don't.
They stopped doing it. Right.
Yeah.
So now it's to a point where like, okay, how can we make the bar shows better? And I like the idea that, and I was thinking about it, but you're the one that proposed it to me first. Like, okay, well, you're going to focus on the block. I'm going to focus on OTs. We have our hands in both. And I'll make this commitment to you. I'll be at the block on March 4th.
No.
We're not doing that show anymore.
Yeah, because they're closed. They're Mardi Gras private event.
Fuck. Okay, well then
So that's the only one.
Well, the next one in March, I'll be there because I need to go back up there. I need to be there again. And I just need to get spots in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. For me, I don't not go to the open mics because like I don't want to. I kind of don't want to, but I go to them. Every Tuesday is an open mic for me because I host every Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm trying out shit every Tuesday. You know what I mean?
how's that going for you?
It's going good.
Yeah, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
You haven't been there to see like.
I haven't.
So
yeah.
I have 2 new bits. The one that I did at the Safe House open mic, the fucking Wi-Fi, the porn one and shit like that. And then I had this other one about being on top as a big guy. And I did them on this last Tuesday, and I told you that was like one of my favorite shows ever. And I actually did them at the end because I was like, this show's going so like we're all having fun in here. Like, you guys care if I try out 2 bits real quick? And they're like, or I was like, can I try? I have 2 different bits I want to try out. You guys want to hear? Like, pick one of them. And I told them pick between sex or jacking off. And they're like, we want to hear both. And I was like, all right, bet. So I do both, and they kill it. You know what I mean? Definitely being able to work on my crowd work there, since there's and it's like an open mic with a crowd that's not an open mic crowd for me. So I get to work on with the actual audience members that are there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's my show, so it's okay if like it gets a little rocky sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's working out good.
Okay, good. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's I like, and then because I really do like the block. I like how that's going.
We're gonna be back out on the big stage soon.
Yeah, when's that gonna happen?
Whenever it's cold or warm enough.
So probably like March into April.
Yeah, I was thinking the end of March, beginning of April.
Okay. Yeah, I want to get a couple more sets into that bar setting before we go, because I like the bar so much better.
So same, but
hopefully we get more people outside. Anyway, and then OTs is starting up again.
Yeah.
That's gonna be sick. This will come out beforehand. We have that. So we have 2 shows at OTs. We're gonna do AJ Matthews and Friends, which I'm very excited for, on the 13th.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do a regular show on the 20th. This is a regular showcase. I'm very excited for that AJ Matthews and Friends because that lineup is insane.
Yeah, for sure.
I've heard good things. I haven't seen him in a very long time, but I've heard good things about Gilbert Santianes.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to see what he's come up with in the last few months that I've seen him. And then so it's going to be him, AJ Matthews is hosting, and then fucking Matthew Bloodsmith, who I adore.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I need to start hitting it because me and him were going to do a podcast, but it kind of just fell through.
That'll be a great podcast.
I need to get him in here because I adore that fucking guy. And then so it's Matthew Bloodsmith, Gilbert Santianes, Black Mike, who's just always funny.
Yeah.
He's reliable.
Yeah.
And then Buck D. That's a great fucking
For sure,
lineup.
yeah. It's going to be a good lineup.
That's a great fucking lineup.
That one's good. And I mean, it's dope that we're able to give other people, like, to try this opportunity to give other people their own monthly shows.
Yeah.
Especially like Victor Tenorio, if you guys don't know. He's a local Native American comic from Bernalillo area. He smacks it every time that I've asked him to do it. He's working on his hosting skills. He's still, I'm pretty sure he's newer to stand up. He hasn't been doing it for that long, but he has the the like grind in him that I saw that I could relate to the grind that I have in myself and like the way that I started at first. And so he's gonna have his own show at the Block, like we said. Now I think his will be the 3/11, so the second Tuesday. They're both doing second Tuesday and Thursday of every month, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
you are correct. Yeah.
So they'll be the second Tuesday and Thursday of every month. One's at OT's, one's at the Block. It's dope to be able to give people their own opportunities to throw shows because there wasn't. I'm gonna be honest. From what I've heard. And people can correct me. You can correct me. If anyone watches this, they can correct me. There wasn't someone doing shows like I'm doing, and like I brought you into and stuff before I started like here. Like I can't think of like.
Well, I mean, there's bar shows that happen.
For sure, yeah.
There's bar shows that happen, but I would say what we're coming up with right now is more of a conglomerate.
Yeah,
which really hasn't happened yet, at least,
sure.
or at least as. And now, granted, we've only been doing it for a few months. Let's see how sustainable it is.
Yeah.
But because like Eddie's got his thing up in Turtle Mountain,
for sure.
Rusty's got his. That's probably the biggest local bar show. Is
100%.
First Fridays.
First Fridays is the biggest. Monthly. Our safe house is starting to to compete with it.
You should have been there for Native American comedy.
Yeah,
holy
for sure.
But I don't know how that happened. I genuinely don't understand it, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was, so what had happened is I got there, I set everything up, and I know it couldn't have been there, but I remember I got there, I set everything up, and then I was sitting at the bar, I was like, you know what, because I had a fucking long day that day, I was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm just going to go take a nap. So I went, it was like 7:10. I go to my truck, go take a nap, I'm like, all right, I'll wake up at like 7:40, I'll get in the bar, I'll get with the comics, give them their times or whatever. I wake up like 7:45, get my shit together, get in the bar, and there's like 45 people there. And I'm like, all right, we're fucking rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
all right,
sure.
this
45 in safe house is a lot of people.
It's a lot. Well, dude, 45 people for a show, for a local show is huge.
For sure, yeah.
Let's just be honest.
That's like I'd say that's what we average for our own shows.
About
just
45 to 50, yeah. So then I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, we got a good amount of people. Okay, cool. So I'm going to the comics, give them their times, whatever. Probably halfway through the second comic set, we're about 60 people deep. And I'm like, fuck, there's a lot of people in this place. By the time that show ended, there was probably about 75 people. Dude, it got to the point where like, you know how like where the comic stands, there's that little threshold next to the bathroom.
Yeah.
There were people standing in there.
Yeah.
We had to kick the doors open to the patio area so people could watch from the patio. There were people standing like literally behind. Like if the comic is right here, there were people like right here,
for sure,
like right in front of them, dude. It was good. Few critiques, some that I won't say on air, but we've talked about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But overall, pretty fucking solid show. Crazy turnout too. I mean, this will come out after the Cody Dove show, but I'm interested to see how that one turns out.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty good.
I think it'll be very fun. Because we've never had, at least in that venue, I know you did, I wasn't there for it, but I know you did your improv one up in the Block. I'm interested to see how because Cody Dove is very interactive with the crowd, and I'm interested to see how that works in Safe House.
Yeah.
That'll be very fun.
Yeah, that'll be a cool show. We'll definitely. Oh, I mean, most of the monthly shows, like we said, we get 45, 50 people in. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited. I should be out by then. If not, you can fucking bleep it, but don't tell.
Oh yeah, so we're doing that.
Yeah.
The date changed. I don't know if Jake told you.
When did the date change to?
I'll tell you when it's coming out or when it's going to happen. It's not happening at the date we originally planned on.
Okay.
He told me why, but it's going to work out better for us.
Is it after or before?
After.
Okay.
It's
cool.
after.
For sure.
So there's more time to prepare, which I enjoy.
Because I have Casadas that month too.
Yeah. So this gives us more time to perform or to prepare for that. Oh yeah, and then congrats on Casadas.
Yeah. We don't know who yet. Let me check the website.
We don't know when. So what day is it again?
April 18th and 19th.
Okay, so April 18th and 19th at Casadas. This will definitely be out by then. And what I'll do is I'll put the ticket link in there in this episode.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet, huh? That would have been crazy if you had Catherine Blanford.
Yeah, I know.
That would have been crazy. Dude, how was
Brian Simpson? Imagine. No,
dude, that would have been nuts.
Yeah.
How was the anniversary show, the Casadas and Friends
Dude,
shit?
that was fucking for one, all the fucking game that SMQ was spitting to me, like spitting to us in the back and like giving to us, was priceless.
Meaning,
Just just the advice he gave me. I feel like no one had given me advice like that before.
what did he say?
For one, the biggest thing is closed mouths don't get fucking fed. So don't have too much pride. Like, as a comic, don't have too much pride. Don't think that you're too good to do something. Because you don't know who's going to be at what show, and it could be your big break at something small, like something you don't, you know what I mean? Like, so that was like the biggest thing to think of. And then the only thing I don't agree with, we're not in the 80s no more. You don't have to wear a suit on stage, okay? I don't think that you
Well,
no.
Okay, so here's my thing. Here's my thing about that. So I think that there is something like, okay, it depends. Okay, so the easy answer is depends on the comic. But what I mean by that is like, okay, so you look at somebody like Anthony A, Renee Vaca, Ralph Barbosa,
Me.
you're in that same category.
Yeah.
Culture wise,
For sure.
Ken Flores, rest in
Yeah.
peace. You look at guys like that, they can wear the oversized shirts. Actually, I'll explain why in a second, but I would take you out of that actually. But like the oversized shirts, the jeans, the more Chicano look,
For sure.
because it's who they are. First of all, it's authentic to them. Like, if you ever see me wearing an oversized shirt with oversized jeans, looking like a Chicano, like, because I'm Hispanic,
For sure.
but that's not who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Like my personality doesn't lend itself to that.
Yeah.
I grew up predominantly in my white side of the family.
For sure.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I wear a button up on stage and I wear whatever. Okay. But what they get away with is that, not get away with, but like what they, for their onstage personality, why they're allowed to do that, why they go on stage and they don't look unprofessional, is because A, it's authentic to them. It's a part of their personality, a part of their culture, A. And B, they're big enough to where they've built their audience to where they know what to expect.
For sure.
And that's why I take you out of that. Because you haven't built an audience none of us have. To that level where they know what to expect from you. So for me, in my opinion, like, you need to look presentable on stage. Now, can you look presentable on stage with everything I just described? Yes. Will you be taken as seriously? Probably not. So you got to weigh those options.
I just can't see me going up in like a suit.
No. I
don't wear that in real life.
No, exactly.
So I never would wear it. Yeah.
Exactly. No one's expecting you. Now, I would never expect you to go on stage in a fucking suit and tie.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't expect you to go on stage looking tattered as shit. Like like whatever you wore for Casadas, that was good.
For sure, that was my South Valley blazer, bro.
Yeah.
That was my South Valley suit, dog.
Like, you looked good on stage.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
you looked presentable, clean on stage. You clearly got a haircut, like all that stuff. Like you put yourself together.
I guess it's being
well.
into fashion for me too. Like I'm like a streetwear guy. You know what I mean? So,
but it works for you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what matters. Is that works for you, right? Now, if you would have done like a dressed down version of that, Casadas, I would have been like, hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like, what's going on? But then you have other people that can lean into their own version of like the Lenny Bruce type, where they're wearing a suit on stage. Like Cody Dove does that.
Buck.
When he goes up there. Buck, he does his version of that. Exactly. Where they look a lot more dressed up. Like Buck usually wears like his bow tie and like a blazer and shit like that.
For sure.
And it works for them. That's what matters. It's like, the best way that I could put it into anyone listening to this is just like, if you're going onto a big, like, you should treat any stage like a big stage. But like, if you're specifically going into a professional comedy club, take it upon yourself to whatever you think is formal or whatever you think is presentable, knock it up like a hair.
Yeah.
Knock it up a little bit. Maybe fucking take a shower. Maybe fucking get a haircut. That's coming from me.
Yeah.
Get a haircut. Maybe you should fucking,
not to call anyone out, but it's because he's our boy and he'll laugh at it. When we were doing the anniversary, Tyler was putting on he was like, which shirt should I wear? And it was like a button, it's like a polo. And I was like, dog, you're wearing Vans and joggers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which shirt you put on, bro. You're wearing Vans and joggers.
I think it was Tyler. I can't remember who I was talking about. I was like, dude, can I buy you a pair of jeans?
Yeah, for sure. No, dude. Tyler.
I love Tyler.
Tyler, if you listen to this episode, when it comes out, I will take you for a makeover, bro. And I honestly have some shit from when I was a little skinnier that might fit you that'll look good.
But then also, he's one of those guys where it's
he's
like
authentic.
he dresses the way he dresses on stage, but he's funny.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But he's funny.
If there was no like etiquette, dude, Jake would wear a backpack on stage. I swear to God, bro, you would have his backpack on stage with him. He would be holding on to it while he wouldn't even use the mic stand, bro.
That's funny. But yeah, dude, that's okay, so what did he say? He said, closed mouths don't get fed, don't have an ego, look formal. And what else was he?
Don't tell your audience fuck you.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing that I've heard from multiple people too.
Yeah, that's a risk.
Yeah, don't make your audience your enemy.
Yeah, there's a risk to reward for that for sure. And I agree with that because like the joke that comes to mind, so Louis C.K., he has a joke about like a way to like deal with pedophiles, and he talks about like, well, the company should start making sex dolls based on children, and they can just fuck those. And the crowd like pulls back, and he goes, "Oh, what? You wanted to just fuck your kids instead? All right, fuck you guys. That's fine." Sure. So it's like, oh, okay, that's that. Like, that. Yeah, and the way he does it's obviously way better. But like in that scenario, you could see like it, like telling your audience "fuck you" plays into the darkness of the like it is lighter to tell your audience "fuck you" than it is to talk about children sex dolls, right? But then if a joke doesn't go well, and you tell your audience like, "Hey, go fuck yourselves," or whatever, then it's like, "Oh shit." Then all right, well, now you're mad at us because you're not funny.
And then
I've been told that a few times too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then not only like just advice, just the aura of that. I mean, I know it's his club, but just being there with him and doing a Stephen Michael Quesada and Friends show gives you the biggest confidence boost in the world, especially being picked for that show, and then going on stage with him, and especially coming from a Breaking Bad fan too, you know, like, and then, I mean, some of my first memories of comedy, of stand-up comedy, was watching Stephen Michael Quesada's show. My dad would have me watch it. He had it on Saturdays or something like that. He had a late night show on the CW. Yeah, look it up. And you know who was a reoccurring comic on there? Keith Breckenridge. Keith Breckenridge grew up with my dad, best friends with my dad growing up. I think Keith Breckenridge's brother, Cheyenne, was my dad's best man at his wedding. So some of my first memories...
The after party with Stephen Michael Quesada.
So some of my first memories are watching... Because my dad, since his friend Keith was on it, he would be like, yo, we got to watch this. You know what I mean? Like, this is my homeboy. So some of my first memories of watching fucking stand-up comedy, like actually watching it, was seeing Keith Breckenridge do it on the Stephen Michael Quesada show.
I go on the fucking IMDb. One of the people credited on there.
Yeah.
Kurt Fletcher.
Yeah, I think Kurt was on the show.
Sarah Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was on the show back then too. Yeah.
Shit. Chris Otero. No shit. I had no idea.
Yeah, dude. So so just being there in that moment was like, oh shit, this is real, dog. Like, I'm sure that's how it was for you with Caroline Ray.
Oh, dude, that was so much fucking... my mind's kind of blown right now. Like, that's so... Sarah's got a fucking IMDb.
That's crazy.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's cool. There's... Albuquerque's popping off right now. You see Saleh, what's his name? The wrestler. He's DCCW wrestler out here.
I have no fucking clue.
He was on that show... He did 2 episodes, that Matlock show with Kathy Bates that's on like NBC right now.
Oh, the reboot of Matlock?
Yeah, he was on it the other day. And he's from Albuquerque. Fucking, it's sick, bro, to see people like
Rusty Rutherford. That's so fucking funny, dude. What the shit? Yeah, Caroline Ray was sick, man.
Yeah.
That was fucking dope.
And I bet you it was surreal to be like, oh shit.
Because I'm glad, and this is not a...
She's A-list, not even like...
Yeah.
That's an A-list star.
I doubt she'll see this, but if you see this, it's no disrespect. I'm not a huge fan of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm not.
I grew up with sisters, so
Yeah. I mean, look at me. Do you think I would be a fan of Sabrina the Teenage Witch? I'm not gonna sit
more
here.
like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I didn't even watch that, dude. Like I knew about it, dude. The first vampire thing that I got into, like really got into,
Twilight.
Nah, bro. True Blood.
Oh, True Blood's, and my girlfriend hates on that shit, bro. She won't watch it.
True Blood is the shit.
Yeah.
It's
Sookie Stackhouse. Shout out to Sookie.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, obviously the big girlies is a fucking romantic show predominantly,
sure.
but it's a fucking
Lots of fucking
banger show,
Yeah,
dude. It's amazing.
literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I didn't really grow up watching that, and I didn't like. And when it was funny because when they had hit me up for the date, they were like, "Hey, we've got this. Like, we want to get you." I the first person I called when I got the Instagram DM was Buck. So I was like, this is not real.
Yeah, from SMQ's daughter, right?
Yeah. And I was like, is this it? And he goes, yeah, dude, you better reply to it. And I was like, fuck. So I got with him, but then the first date they gave me was for Mike Racine.
Okay.
And my buddy Springer, his wedding was that day.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck. I think I texted you, like, what the fuck do I do? But I chose to go to his wedding, of course, and they were like, and I sent a message back, and I emailed them. I was like, hey, thank you for the opportunity, but I have this thing.
Yeah.
Literally any other time, please let me know, and I will make time. Or I'll be there. And they messaged me back on Instagram like, yeah, we'll get back to you. So I thought that was like you flubbed it, you know? Yeah. But they emailed me, or she had emailed me like maybe 20 minutes later and was like, we have Caroline Ray. You want to do that one? And I was like, oh, I know that name from somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, Sabrina Teenage Witch. Yeah. But I just bring this up because like I'm glad that I got her because I'm glad that my first major comedy club experience was for a headliner that I'm not like starstruck with.
That's what I'm scared about. I don't want mine to be someone crazy, bro.
But you've already been to Casadas twice.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what it's like.
Yeah.
You know how it feels. You're doing, I mean, you haven't done comedy very long, but like you're at least, you have an understanding of being on that stage. You have an understanding of being in the green room, waiting for the show to start,
pressing the button,
how everything
free food and free drinks,
dude.
Let's go, dude.
Bro, that first night, because I got myself some food, and I'm thinking, okay, this is like $6, it's like $18. I got my girlfriend a drink that's like $7. Like, oh fuck, okay, I can pay for it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so as I'm leaving for that night, I went to one of the workers like, hey, I just want to pay out my tab for I was in the green room. Like, oh no, it's paid for by the club. And I was like, so the next night I was just like, Miller Lite, burger, quesadilla.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. 100%.
But no, dude, it was super cool. Like she was super nice. And honestly, that's a big part of why I rebranded was because her and I were sitting down while the feature was up, and CJ did a killer job. We were having a conversation, and she was like, oh, you have a podcast, right? And I was like, yeah, and we're talking about it. And that entire conversation, in the back of my head, I was just like, please don't ask me the name.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
I understand.
And I was like, fuck, I'm embarrassed of my own brand. Time to rebrand.
That's why I went from Budweiser Poppy to AJ DeLeon Comedy on Instagram. I've been Budweiser Poppy since high school. Fucking 10 years, 12 years, but it was embarrassing like the same way when people would ask me like, what's your Instagram? Like, can I follow you real quick? And I'd have to be like, Budweiser Poppy.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with you, dog?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but dude, it was so fucking cool. She was super nice. CJ was super nice. Crowds were great. Had one angry old lady, but it's fine. Because like literally after my first show, I had left, like I went out from the room onto the stage, down into the floor because everyone was leaving. I was going to go find my chick. And this lady stops and she goes, hey, come here. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I extend my hands. I'm like, thank you for coming out, whatever. And she like grabs my hand and like slightly grips it. And she's like, I just wanted to say, we're a very blue city here. And as she's saying this, she's like gripping it harder.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know, I understand. She goes, are you? She goes, yeah, we're a very blue city. You should really know your audience before you do some of your material. I'm like, oh no, I know, ma'am, but thank you so much for coming and trying to be nice. And she goes, where are you from? I'm like, I'm born and raised I'm from Albuquerque, man. She was born and raised there. I'm like, yep, born and raised. And she's like fucking like this, right?
For sure.
And then I go, yeah, born and raised. She goes, well, what part of Albuquerque?
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm like, West Side and South Valley, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, have a great night. And I
sure.
just pull away. And she was obviously off a couple drinks.
Yeah.
Because her friend that was next to her was like, hey, let him go.
For sure.
Let him
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
but yeah, dude, that was a lot of fucking fun. And so the first night or the first show on Friday I did well. The second show on Friday I flubbed it hard. Like I would say bombed, but like not great.
For sure.
Not very good. Because like my material wasn't working. And that was definitely the least selling show out of the four.
Okay.
Like there were probably that place sits what, like 250, 300?
350.
350?
Yeah,
Okay.
350 something, I think.
Because we had like maybe 125 in there at the time, which is still a lot of people. But like about maybe a third of the room.
That's how I no, with Polar Bear there was what, like 150, 200?
No, bro. With Polar Bear, that was almost sold out.
Okay, for
that
sure.
was close. That was a bit over 200.
There's so many lights, bro,
you can't
it's hard
see.
to see. Yeah.
You can't fucking see. But anyway, so I was up there and like maybe like 4 minutes into my set, it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
Nothing that I was doing. Because like, I mean, you've seen my set a million fucking times.
Were
like,
they like not laughing at all?
like they were like chuckling at it, but it was just kind of like, it wasn't even that I was like, how do I put this? Like they weren't offended. They were just disinterested.
Okay, for sure.
And and it was weird because like some of them kind of looked uncomfortable, not like with the material, but just like uncomfortable to like be in the room.
Yeah.
And it was funny because later on that night, Caroline Ray, she had gone to one of the managers like, hey, can you please turn down the fucking the temperature in here because it's hot in there. And it turns out the fucking temperature was at like 75.
For sure.
I guess they were like housing some fucking people from a flood that had happened. It just didn't work because like the first show it was at like 69, 70-ish, but then like the last was like 75. So people gonna be fucking hot in there.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I like 4 minutes into it, I was like, you know what? This is already not going the best. Like I'm getting like a chuckle here, chuckle there, but it's not like the first show was just hitting dingers
sure. Yeah.
the whole time, just dingers out of the park. And then I went out with the same thing, did it, and nothing was happening. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do a dick stabbing joke, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least I know they'll laugh at the end.
For sure.
I know they'll laugh at the end. And even if they don't, this story sets up the feature so well to make fun of me and to make the audience on his side that like it's a kind of a win-win.
For sure.
Or like a win-lose. So I did it. Thank God they laughed at my punchline of that story. Have you seen me do the dick stabbing joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, about the army.
Yeah.
So they laughed at Frankencock.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, thank God. And I put the microphone away, left, and he did a good job. But then the next two shows at Saturday night just fucking
For sure. Yeah.
knocked it out of the park. But yeah, dude, it felt good. I'm interested to see when Hyenas starts pulling people from the locals because they have to.
Well,
They have to
they
start.
pulled someone.
Oh, that's right. They got Dwayne James.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea how that happened, but that's not even a knock. I just genuinely don't know how that happened.
I think they're going to stay away from a lot of people that are probably connected to Casadas.
I don't think so.
Let's see. I think that they're going to pull people that haven't done Casadas, or because Dwayne James has no connection to Casadas, and Andres Gonzalez, who's working there now, who got hired as a doorman
At
Hyenas.
who's the fuck is that?
I had him on. He's Micah and Carlos' homie. He moved from San Diego. I had him on a Safe House show. He brought his dog.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a doorman. He's never gonna watch this, so yeah. He's a doorman there, and so I'm like, I think that they're trying to create their own little minions.
I'm just curious because I thought that let's just say management. I thought management between Casadas and Hyenas were good friends.
Yeah, I mean, well,
That's what I've heard.
the owner of Casadas, or the owner of Hyenas, was friends with Steven Mike Casada back in the day, and he moved to Texas and did his own thing with Hyenas.
Yeah, okay. But I thought they were still like, from what I've heard and what I understand, they're still friends. And I just personally, but with a thing like Albuquerque, it's hard. Like, let's talk like top of the food chain. it would be very silly of Hyenas. I doubt they're going to watch this. I hope somebody shows this to them.
Yeah.
It would be very silly of them to say, you know what, Zach Abeda, Buck D,
sure.
Josh Fournier, Kurt Fletcher, because you guys have worked at Casalas, you don't get to do Hyenas.
For sure.
That would be so stupid.
I just don't understand why they have shows booked all the way until May with no locals on them.
I'm sure they'll book intermittently. I mean, stuff like that. I'm sure they'll book like 2 weeks out.
For sure.
Their priority is getting headliners.
Just
They're not going to base shows around locals.
Yeah, for sure. But just everyone I've talked to, they leave everyone on red. For one thing, like they read messages and they don't.
I wonder if they read my message.
Yeah, they've read all mine, and they leave me on red.
I'll bet I'm still in their request. Watch this. Let's see. Oh my God, I can't even spell hyenas right. Don't hire me. Hyenas Albuquerque, and hasn't even opened my message. And this is May 20th of last year.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, what it is, it's a dope club. I want to go see a show there. I sure as hell didn't want to see Carlos Mencia there, but I'll definitely go see a show. Maybe the Hans Kim show.
Yeah, well, I'm iffy on Hans Kim. I want to see fucking William Montgomery.
Yeah, if William comes.
No, he's coming.
When?
On April 11th.
To Hyenas?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. One of us has to get him on our podcast.
That'd be crazy.
He does little podcasts. If you see, he pops out on like little random podcasts.
Does he really?
Yeah, and he has a little random podcast too.
The William Montgomery show, yeah.
It might be easier to get a hold of him there than his actual account. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll fight.
I
for
would
that
love
one.
to see because
I mean, either or. If I were to get it, I would have you sit in. You know, like that's one of the ones. Those are one of those people where you gotta.
Oh yeah, dude. Because I just heard his shows are just him yelling. And
I love it.
That's all I want.
I love William Montgomery, bro. A lot of people don't get William Montgomery. I love William Montgomery.
It's fucking hilarious. But I'm very happy. And again, the effect is not going to take hold for maybe 6 months. But I'm just glad that Hyenas is here. I'm glad that Hyenas has shows planned out. And I think it's going to be a net positive because then what's going to happen is people are going to look up like, hey, how can I find more comedy in Albuquerque? And eventually these things will happen. We got to get on our fucking Google marketing shit.
100%. We got to get – there's a lot of shit. I want – selfishly for sure, I want to get my name card on Google. So like when people look up AJ DeLeon, it'll come up like with a little picture of me and like a little –
How do you do that?
I was looking it up. It's a fucking whole like thing for my boy Sean to code and shit like that for me. You know.
Okay.
I mean? But yeah, we need to pay for Google ads for. Well, first of all, we need to figure out exactly which production umbrella we're gonna go under.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get on our Google ads. I think everything's going great right now. I have no complaints.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think we should do personally. I think we should, like, in the summer, book a show for the summer, whether it's Safe House. And now if it's going to be the Block or OTs, they need to pay for those ads or help us pay for them. But let's just say it's Safe House, right? We have this show going on at Safe House. And we decide this fucking killer lineup. No chances. No, I'll give you some. No, sure, just bang, 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 bang. And we set it up and we book this thing out like 60 days in advance. And we just start running crazy Google ads, ticketed event, so we could try to get our money back.
Yeah. And I feel like my promo videos work. They do a good, like the funny one, like the one with Chuck and shit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But we do that. And we just put a lot of promotional shit behind it and see how many people we can get in there. For sure. But I would like to have one show in the summer where we turn people away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like you cannot get in. Where it gets so packed. You can buy tickets at the door, obviously, or like Venmo or Cash App one of us to get in. But like, if you don't have a prepaid thing past this point, you cannot come in.
For sure.
Just have that place packed the fuck out.
I mean, I got a lot of plans for the summer that I want to do in this fall too. Like I was texting the other day about seeing if we could I would love to put together fucking a festival at the Block, like a day festival. It would be sick. There's enough spots to do comedy in different places, like even have them at the same time in different places, and to like have people do workshops and shit like that. Like there's enough.
That would be cool.
A dope venue.
That would be fucking cool. I agree with that. The only disadvantage to that is the fact that it's outside of Albuquerque.
For sure.
But we could still do it.
If you dub it as a festival and you promote it enough, people would go.
No, I agree completely. Oh yeah, we got fucking AB Kids Magazine, huh?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
That was dope too, especially like because obviously your podcast is a lot more. How do you say it? Like established than mine. And for them, whoever fucking said it's weird because like obviously we work together and like you can see a lot of our shit on Instagram together. Yeah. But whoever gave them our fucking names, like for there's a lot of other podcasts you can choose in Albuquerque. There's a lot of other podcasts you can choose. With a lot more well-known people. Yeah. And they decided to put us out there, which
what I'm hoping happened. Well, half hope, half assumed is what happened. Is they saw me on the KRQE thing. Yeah. And that led to my page. And they saw your episode. Or no, they went to my page, my Instagram, tagged posts. AJ's got a podcast. Yeah. Let's do them both. They work together.
But they could have done...
They could have done anybody else.
April Fools. Yeah. Someone, like, no, I'm just saying other ones that are connected to you. You know? That have been connected to you.
Right.
Even the BS show. Yeah. They could have done a lot of shit. So shout out to Austin for fucking getting us on that. Shout out to Albuquerque the Magazine. If you guys haven't got that issue, he'll show it to the camera real quick. We were supposed to do this like 2 weeks ago when it came out, but your boy's been busy.
Yes, but it came out very well. So, you know, fucking cool shit.
Yeah.
It's very well made. I was kind of surprised. It's the fact that they put us in the hot singles that was pretty funny. Yeah, it's like, you guys aren't the hot singles. You could be in the back. You could be in the back of the magazine.
Page 176, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, 77. Yeah.
177. No, that's still fucking... That shit was fucking dope to be in there. I think it's taking off for us.
No, it feels good, man. How do you feel you're developing as a comic? Like, do you... Actually, no. Okay. Did you have expectations for yourself as a comedian, and then how do you feel like you're meeting those expectations?
So I don't know if it's a toxic trait or not, but when I do anything, I always want to be the best at it. It doesn't matter. Like if I'm going to try something, I'm going to do it. The mentality, the expectation in my mind before I start is to be the best. So I was like, I don't think that a lot of people... God willing, God bless. I don't think that a lot of people have as a successful of a first time ever doing stand-up comedy like I did at the little comedy competition or whatever. So I think from there, my ceiling was set super fucking high. And I think I've reached at that, like the point that I set for myself then. And now it's getting only like now the goals are getting even bigger. And right. I think that I've developed as a comic as to where I am having a conversation with the audience instead of just telling them jokes. I think I've finally gotten to that point, and I feel myself being so much more comfortable and like talking to people and
I agree with that for sure. You know, I mean, thinking about how it was when you were doing the. When you and Pierce were doing shows at Tractor.
For sure.
And so that compared to Safe House, it's way
totally
better.
Different. My Polar Bear performance at Casada's to my Stephen Michael Casada and Friends performance, night and day difference.
I agree.
I was the first one... I'm fucking nervous, and I'm 6 months into comedy. I have fucking Polar Bear with 500,000 followers who's doing shows with Gabriel Iglesias DMing me back telling me that I could get a spot on his show, which the parallels in that are crazy because now he's been on tour with Fluffy opening for him every night in stadiums.
Yep.
And me and him talk about it. Shout out to Polar Bear, John Polar Bear Gonzalez. Fucking the parallels are crazy. He gave me that opportunity, which skyrocketed me because a lot of people... I was throwing my own shows at that point, but a lot of people were like, oh shit, this fool got Casadas? Or this fool's on a Casada. Didn't get it, but is on a Casada show, like over there. And 50 comics, probably every comic in the scene asked me after that that hadn't been on Casades yet, how I got onto it. You know, people still ask that. And it was obviously the leap of faith that I took and the chance that Polar Bear took. But look at where he's at now. Like, the energy and, like, the karma and shit is fucking real. Like, what he put out into the universe is hitting him 10 times fucking harder back better. You know what I mean? He's fucking opening stadiums. Like, that shit's crazy. He's doing arenas, bro. Like... And he's giving people lap dances, fucking taking his shirts off on arena shows, bro. And it's fucking working, and it's sick, and it's dope that I built that connection because anytime that there's a show, fucking, again, shout out to Polar Bear. Anytime there's a show, if I were to tell him that I could make it to it and it's his show, he's going to let me get on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's been multiple times where he's been like, come down. Like, I'll give you a spot. Which opens up the door to fucking maybe meeting Gabriel because if he's about to announce a tour soon, and I'm pretty sure Polar Bear is going to be one of the openers on it. If they come,
I think you're giving away too much sauce right now.
If they come to Albuquerque, dog, you're gonna see your boy like Anthony A at the event center or some shit like that.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah,
that would be nuts. Yeah, it's opportunities are coming, but they only, like you're saying, but earlier what Casale was saying, like, you only get the opportunities if you ask. Now, granted, I mean, yeah, you could get fucking booked and get picked out of a pile, but generally speaking, when you're at the fucking lower rungs of the ladder, which is where we're at, you're not gonna, because what? You just ask and then you get a no. It's like, all right, well, I'm back where I started.
Exactly. The worst someone could say is no. What are they gonna do? Shoot you or something? Like, why are you scared? Just ask them. And for you other comics that are out there, if you want an opportunity to be on a show, not Safe House, ask me and Noah about OTs or the block. And if we're probably not going to tell you no, because I mean, there's no reason to. Yeah. Those are shows that we want to expose all different walks of life, different comics on. That's.
But I will say this: I'm very happy that a Safe House has turned into like a headliner bar show.
That's dope.
It's dope.
It's dope.
I didn't expect it. I gotta be honest. Yeah. I didn't think it was gonna work out that well.
And shout out to Anthony A, because honestly, bro, we don't get Safe House without you coming into town and us needing a venue, and then Safe House. Even though we didn't do it at Safe House being like, hey, we still want you to do something here. Like, And ever since then, we've had a show every month.
Yeah, dude. It's it feels good to be able to put on shows like that. And I don't know, man. It's because again, open mics are great, and I love going to open mics. I really do. I just don't have a lot of time to. I love going to open mics and just trying shit, but like having real people to bounce your shit off of is fucking invaluable.
For sure.
And no sane human being goes to an open mic.
Yeah.
No sane human being.
For sure.
Okay, let's see if there's anything else we wanted to cover before we get out of here. Fucking Denver comic coming into town.
Oh, Ben Roy. Yeah, so unfortunately, GN told me today they said no to the chemo.
Who's they?
The main bosses.
Fuck.
I'm pretty sure during May it's summertime, so they have pretty much everything booked out. I have been talking to the Lobo Theater. I don't know if any of the fucking Lobo Theater people watch this, but if you guys watch this, fucking let us do that show, bro. Ben Roy, special on Hulu, show on HBO Max. He's been on fucking Comedy Central before. He's been on True TV. He's a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu, so he'll fucking twist your dick off. You know what's funny? I don't know if anyone's ever said this before, but me and Gian were like going back and forth with each other at the show on Tuesday. I was like, yeah, this guy's cauliflower ear, not from wrestling, but because his fools grab his ears while he sucks their dick and just crushes them. I think that's a pretty good one for cauliflower ear.
That's funny. But he's coming to. I mean, you guys got him coming to town.
Yeah. So we'll be in Santa Fe May 2nd at the what is it called? Let me tell you exactly what.
It's some big theater up there.
Yeah, it's a theater. It's a theater out there, and then we're working on the theater right now for Albuquerque.
Because it would just be silly not to.
100%.
It would be silly not to get that guy down to Albuquerque.
We were gonna do Tractor, and I was like, nah. And then I was at OT's, and I was like, nah. And then Safe House, nah. All amazing venues, but this is a big league. This is a heavy hitter. He has a fucking special on Hulu. That's the new place for specials, but to get one on Hulu is still fucking...
Yeah.
And in Comedy Works. He's a regular at Comedy Works. So that's where he filmed it at.
Okay.
Was Comedy Works Denver.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out where he's gonna be. If not Lobo, I'll start looking into maybe like Kiva Auditorium.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something like just because he's big enough to where just the opportunity and the experience and the connection will be worth it to if I have to dump some money into it to even know where it's gonna be.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
It'd be silly not to. But
For sure.
dude. Comedy ain't too bad right now.
Yeah, it's not. So fuckers don't try and make it worse. Please.
We'll be all right. Before we get out of here, where can everyone find you on Instagram, all that stuff? Where do they find your podcast?
AJDeLeonComedy.com. You'll find links to everything on there. Instagram, X, YouTube, which is where you can find my podcast. My podcast is Last Laugh the Podcast, not the Last Laugh Podcast. It's Last Laugh the Podcast. We're gonna see you in court one day, buddy. But we got our fucking issue in the magazine. We're fucking doing it. I just dropped a solo episode on my podcast. By then, hopefully 3 more. By the time this drops, hopefully I have 3 more episodes out at least. I have some big fucking plans, so fucking subscribe. Shout out to Albuquerque Magazine again, because since I had 19 subscribers on my YouTube channel for Last Laugh, and it's at 36 now since that dropped. So that's a significant amount to go up. You know how it is starting. So
Well, I'm still there.
It's easy to get views. It's hard to get subscribers.
Yeah. So it's even tough to get views sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So
this has been dope, brother.
It's been a lot of fun, man.
We needed this one.
Yes. And so upcoming shows, this will be after the Cody Dove one. We've got was that May 13th? Or I know we already said it once,
and then just to let you guys know, March 28th at Safe House, at the end of the show to close out the night, because they're going to stay open late. Miles Chavez from the Rhythms will be playing from 10 to midnight.
All right. Sweet.
March 28th.
So in March, the 13th and the 20th, OTs off San Mateo, used to be Sandbar. I'll be producing those shows. 13th is going to be AJ Matthews. The 20th, I'm still getting that lineup together. I'll probably be on it. And then the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th, more than likely, going to be at the Block. 28th, be back at Safe House, and then into April. So a lot of fucking shit coming up.
See you guys at Casadas.
Yeah. And then, when's your Casadas again?
18th and 19th.
18th and 19th of April. Casadas, go buy those tickets. The link will be in the description. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we already have a person for you.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we do. Let's get to it.
We have a lot of work to do. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye, everybody. Cool shit. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like what you've seen here, please share it with as many people as possible. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the podcast. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, which I have coming soon.